There is a unique tissue in your body that operates very differently from almost every other part of you. It has no blood vessels running through it, no direct supply of oxygen or nutrients, and no arteries delivering everything it needs to survive. Instead, it depends entirely on nutrients slowly diffusing from the surrounding fluid and on an internal recycling process that keeps its cells functioning. That tissue is cartilage, and the cells living inside it are among the longest-lasting and slowest-replacing cells in the human body. So, what happens to this remarkable tissue when autophagy, the body's natural cellular cleanup system, is activated repeatedly over the course of 30 days? The answer reveals an important connection between fasting, cellular maintenance, and joint health that many people have never considered. Cartilage is unlike nearly every other tissue in the body. Muscles, skin, and internal organs receive a constant supply of nutrients and oxygen through an extensive network of blood vessels. Cartilage, however, has none. It is classified as avascular, meaning it has no internal blood circulation at all. Everything it needs must slowly pass through the surrounding synovial fluid before reaching the cells embedded within the tissue. This isn't a design flaw, it's intentional. Cartilage is built to handle constant pressure, compression, and friction every time your joints move. A network of delicate blood vessels simply wouldn't survive under those repeated mechanical forces. But this specialized design comes with a significant downside. Without direct blood flow, cartilage cannot repair itself as efficiently as other tissues or rely on immune cells rushing in to help after damage occurs. Instead, the health of cartilage depends almost entirely on the small number of cells living inside it. That's exactly why autophagy becomes so important. In tissues supplied by rich blood circulation, damaged components can often be cleared away or replaced with assistance from immune cells traveling through the bloodstream. Cartilage doesn't have that luxury. Its own resident cells must perform most of the maintenance themselves, making their internal recycling systems absolutely essential. Understanding how these cellular recycling mechanisms respond under different conditions is key to understanding everything discussed in this video. Within cartilage, one cell type carries almost the entire workload, the chondrocyte. Unlike tissues such as skin or muscle, where several different cell types work together, cartilage depends almost exclusively on chondrocytes to build, preserve, and repair its surrounding structure. These cells constantly produce and maintain the protein-rich framework that gives cartilage its strength and flexibility. Throughout life, they carefully regulate the composition of this tissue, helping joints remain smooth and functional. One of the most fascinating characteristics of chondrocytes is how rarely they divide. In mature cartilage, cell turnover is extremely slow. Many of these cells remain in place for years, even decades. Because they aren't replaced frequently, each chondrocyte must manage the gradual buildup of internal damage throughout an exceptionally long lifespan. This is where autophagy becomes especially critical. Scientific research has linked healthy autophagy activity within chondrocytes to the preservation of cartilage balance and stability. Studies have also shown that when this recycling process becomes impaired, cartilage degeneration becomes much more likely. Since these long-lived cells cannot simply be replaced the way skin or intestinal cells can, their internal quality control systems carry enormous responsibility. Autophagy helps remove damaged proteins, worn-out cellular components, and dysfunctional organelles, allowing the cells to continue functioning properly over time. When you stop eating, your body doesn't react the same way in every tissue. Early fasting triggers several important metabolic changes. Insulin levels begin to fall. The energy-sensing enzyme AMPK becomes more active, and activity in the growth-promoting mTOR pathway starts to decrease. These signals circulate throughout the body, reaching virtually every cell, including the chondrocytes hidden deep within your joint cartilage. However, cartilage receives these signals differently than tissues supplied by abundant blood flow. In organs with direct circulation, metabolic changes can occur relatively quickly because nutrients and signaling molecules arrive through the bloodstream. In cartilage, those same signals must first diffuse through synovial fluid before reaching the cells. Because of this slower delivery system, chondrocytes may respond later than cells in highly vascular tissues. Some areas where nutrients enter the joint remain only partially understood, and researchers continue exploring how these signaling molecules move through cartilage and the surrounding synovium. That delayed response doesn't mean nothing happens during the early stages of fasting. Studies have identified autophagy as a major factor supporting chondrocyte survival and maintaining the cartilage matrix. The same cellular pathways that activate autophagy elsewhere in the body also exist within joint tissue. The important difference isn't whether cartilage can activate autophagy. It can. The difference lies in how quickly and how strongly these cells respond compared with tissues that receive direct blood flow. This distinction becomes increasingly important as fasting continues beyond the initial several hours. As we grow older, the relationship between cartilage and autophagy begins to change in measurable ways. Researchers comparing younger cartilage with older cartilage have consistently found that several important markers associated with autophagy, including proteins such as ULK1, Beclin-1, and LC3, are present at much lower levels in aging and osteoarthritic tissue. Work by Karames and colleagues studying both human and animal cartilage demonstrated that the ability of chondrocytes to perform autophagy gradually declines with age. Remarkably, this reduction often occurs years before any obvious joint damage becomes visible on imaging tests like X-rays or MRI scans. In other words, the cells begin losing their internal cleanup system long before the joint shows outward signs of deterioration. This decline isn't random. One of the key regulators involved is the mTOR pathway, the same nutrient-sensing system that controls autophagy throughout the body. Inside chondrocytes, increased mTOR activity suppresses the formation of autophagosomes, the specialized structures responsible for collecting and recycling damaged cellular material. When mTOR remains highly active, the cell's recycling machinery is essentially switched off. Working against mTOR is AMPK, an enzyme that senses low energy availability. When cellular energy drops, AMPK stimulates autophagy, helping cells clean out damaged components and recycle valuable materials. Numerous studies have identified mTOR as one of the primary inhibitors of autophagy in chondrocytes, while AMPK serves as one of its strongest activators. As cartilage ages, the balance between these two pathways gradually shifts in the wrong direction, favoring suppression of autophagy instead of activation. The results of this shift are significant. When autophagy slows down, damaged mitochondria, misfolded proteins, oxidized molecules, and other worn-out cellular components are no longer removed efficiently. Instead of being broken down and recycled, they gradually accumulate inside the chondrocytes, increasing cellular stress and making it harder for these long-lived cells to maintain healthy cartilage over time. Since cartilage cannot simply recruit new cells to replace those that become damaged or exhausted, the burden stays with the same long-living chondrocytes. As these cells accumulate more wear over time, the damage remains concentrated within them, gradually progressing as long as the tissue survives. Several research groups have identified this slow buildup as an important contributor to age-related cartilage degeneration, distinguishing it from injuries caused by trauma, which usually develop much faster and affect specific areas of the joint. For many years, osteoarthritis was viewed mainly as the unavoidable result of mechanical wear and tear, the gradual breakdown caused by decades of movement, impact, and pressure on the joints. However, the age-related decline in chondrocyte autophagy introduces a much deeper question. If the cells responsible for maintaining cartilage are already losing their internal recycling system as we age, could osteoarthritis be more than just physical wear? Could it also be the result of declining cellular maintenance that becomes most noticeable in older joints? Over the past 20 years, research has increasingly supported this second perspective. Rather than seeing osteoarthritis as something that simply develops on aging cartilage, Scientists now believe it may share many of the same underlying cellular changes associated with aging itself. This shift in understanding is significant because it changes how we think about the disease. If autophagy is actively reduced in unhealthy cartilage, then the weakening of joint structure isn't caused only by years of mechanical stress. It also reflects the gradual failure of the cell's own maintenance systems to keep up with ongoing damage. Evidence from animal studies supports this idea. When researchers experimentally increased autophagy in chondrocytes, signs of cartilage deterioration generally became less severe. On the other hand, when genes responsible for autophagy were disabled, cartilage degeneration often progressed much faster. Most of this evidence comes from laboratory experiments and animal models, and scientists continue to investigate exactly how these findings apply to the full complexity of human osteoarthritis. Even so, one important molecular connection has become increasingly clear. Studies have shown that when autophagy declines in chondrocytes, levels of enzymes known as matrix metalloproteinases begin to rise. These enzymes break down collagen and proteoglycans, the two major components that provide cartilage with its strength, flexibility, and resilience. Under healthy conditions, this natural breakdown is balanced by continuous repair and renewal. But when autophagy slows, that balance begins to shift. Destruction gradually outweighs repair, leading to progressive tissue deterioration. This pattern has been observed repeatedly across multiple independent experimental studies. Cartilage also doesn't exist on its own. It is constantly surrounded by synovial fluid, the thick, slippery liquid that fills every healthy joint. This fluid performs two essential functions. First, it lubricates the joint surfaces so they can move smoothly with minimal friction. Second, it delivers oxygen and nutrients to cartilage since cartilage lacks its own blood supply. Synovial fluid is produced by specialized cells within the synovial membrane, the thin layer of tissue lining the inside of the joint capsule. The quality of this fluid depends heavily on the health of that membrane and the overall condition of the joint. Interestingly, the cells of the synovial membrane also rely on autophagy to maintain their own health. Because of this, researchers now study the synovium and cartilage together instead of treating them as completely separate parts of the joint. In joints affected by osteoarthritis, the synovial membrane often develops persistent low-grade inflammation. Inflamed synovial tissue releases inflammatory molecules directly into the synovial fluid surrounding the cartilage. Since chondrocytes rely on this same fluid for nourishment, any change in its composition immediately affects the cartilage as well. This creates an ongoing communication loop between the synovial membrane and the cartilage itself. This is where the role of autophagy becomes even more complex. Healthy autophagy within synovial cells appears to help regulate how many inflammatory molecules are released into the joint space. At the same time, autophagy inside chondrocytes helps those cells tolerate and recover from inflammatory stress. When both systems are functioning properly, the joint environment tends to remain more balanced and less inflamed. But when autophagy declines in either tissue, research suggests that the composition of synovial fluid gradually shifts toward a more inflammatory state, making the joint less protective and more vulnerable to degeneration. Most of these observations currently come from laboratory and animal research rather than large human clinical trials. But the findings have been remarkably consistent. Inflammation within a joint is far more complicated than a single event. It involves immune cells, chemical messengers known as cytokines, and an intricate network of signaling pathways that may either settle down quickly or continue for years, depending on the underlying cause. This creates a difficult cycle to break. Researchers believe this cycle may help explain why joint inflammation often becomes self-sustaining instead of resolving naturally. Although much of this work has been performed using cultured cells and rodent models, scientists continue to investigate how closely these mechanisms mirror human disease. The relationship between autophagy and inflammation goes even further. Chondrocytes don't simply respond to inflammation, they can also influence it. Several studies suggest that autophagy helps regulate how much inflammatory material a cell releases by assisting in the removal of damaged cellular components that would otherwise continue stimulating inflammatory signals. Because of this two-way relationship, autophagy has become a major focus in joint disease research. It is no longer viewed as merely a general housekeeping process inside cells, but as an important regulator of both cartilage maintenance and inflammatory balance. One of the strongest demonstrations of this connection came from research led by Dr. Beatriz Carames and colleagues, published in the Annals of the Rheumatic Diseases. In that study, researchers surgically created osteoarthritis in the knee joints of 2-month-old mice. Afterward, one group received rapamycin, a compound known to inhibit the mTOR pathway and stimulate autophagy, while the other group received an inactive control treatment. The goal was straightforward: determine whether enhancing the cell's natural recycling process could influence the progression of cartilage degeneration after osteoarthritis had already been initiated.